Welcome to this edition of Best of the Best, where we interview the world's leaders in healthcare, politics, sports, and business while sharing their secrets to success. Now here's your host, Dr. J. Murray Hawkins.
Well, welcome to this edition of Best of the Best. I'm Dr. Hawkins, and I am really excited today to have with us the founder, CEO, Grand Poobah, buck stops with him, Jeff Crilley, who's the owner of Real News Communication Network. Make sure I say that right. We're actually in his studios. That's where we're taping Best of the Best. And of course, we had to have him on because, again, he's just awesome. And so we want to have a little love fest and just talk about life and how we started this company, his family, and just see where this goes. So this is the epitome of a riff. There's no notes, no planning, and we're just going to go for it. So, Jeff, welcome to the show.
It's the Jeff and Jeff show.
It is, right? All the cool, we talked about this before, all the cool people are named Jeff.
Yes.
But it's Jeff.
Yes, those Geoffs.
Not those Geoffs people. They're not cool. Okay. So tell me about, let's go back a little bit now.
Sure.
Again, tell us about your family. How many kids you have? I know you have some kids that work with you in your company. Just tell us that whole progression. It was a pretty cool story.
Sure. So they're both adults, and my daughter's my vice president. My son is my head of business development. So it's really cool building a company together with them, getting to see them every day. My daughter calls me up every morning when I'm on the tollway, and she'll say, "It's going to be a great day, Dad," and I'll say, "It's going to be the best day." And so building something with your kids is just really special. There's no such thing as a bad day. I mean, do we argue? Do we have disagreements about how to run the business? Of course we do. But at the end of the day, we're family. And I joke that my daughter, if there was a gunman who ran in here, she would throw herself in front of me and say, "Shoot me, don't shoot my dad." So, just fiercely loyal.
That's awesome. Yeah, because we have our daughter, too, who's 26, and she works with us in our company right now, too, and has since she was 13, different businesses, and she was a receptionist and everything else. But now she's kind of starting her own business. But the cool thing is, I remember when she was 4, never forget this, she was in one of our clinics, and she used to like to play with the phone. She liked answering the phone. So we would tape the little button down so she could pick it up and pretend she's a receptionist. She says, "I want to be a receptionist one day." I'm like, "No, you don't. You want to own the company and hire the receptionist. You can talk on the phone as much as you want." She's like, "Oh, okay." So she's kind of gotten that entrepreneurial bug.
You were teaching business lessons even when she was a toddler. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Now, before we get on, your daughter, who's here, said I had to ask you about this story. So what's the significance of Secretariat the Horse?
Secretariat the Horse. So I got to be honest. So I do this daily email. It goes out to now 35,000 journalists, and part of my daily tip sheet is on this day in history. So about 3 years ago, I was doing on this day in history, and it was the day that Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes, which is the third leg of the Triple Crown, and won by 32 lengths. And we all know the story. We saw the movie, but I decided to go ahead and watch the documentary on ESPN as I was putting together my daily email, and I found myself weeping. I found myself crying at the beauty of what this horse did. So to put it into perspective, I mean, Secretariat could have won by a length or two, but decided to speed up and separate itself from the pack, and did something that may never be repeated in the history of racing. The reason I was weeping was because our division was starting to pull away from the pack. The communications division, building television production around podcasting, was starting to take off. And I said to myself, wow, instead of just coasting at this point, because we have a comfortable lead, what if I sped up? What if it was better? And so now I'm dreaming bigger every single day. How much better can we make the experience of coming into Real News PR and the Real News Communications Network? And you're part of that experience. So we pride ourselves on really inviting in cool broadcasters, and we have the coolest company. I mean, my employees, I call it a thank God it's Monday company, where everybody loves to come in. Cool. And laugh. I mean, I'll sit there because we have lunch catered in daily for our clients and team, and I'll sit there and people are laughing so loudly that I have to decide, do I close the door because I'm having a meeting with a prospective client, or do I leave the door open? And most days I just leave it open because I'm like, I think I want the prospective client to hear laughter. And a good company from a bad company, and we've just created this kind of magic energy here.
That's awesome. So tell us about kind of I know you were in newscasting before, not broadcasting, so then you started this company. So tell me what the click in your brain was like, okay, I'm done with that, I want to do this.
Yes. So I'd written a book while I was still at Fox 4 here in Dallas. I spent 25 years in the news business, Lansing, Omaha, Minneapolis, Dallas. And I wrote a book in the early 2000s called Free Publicity, A TV Reporter Shares the Secrets for Getting Covered on the News. And I was kind of moonlighting while at Channel 4. What my station did not know was I was doing 300 speeches a year in addition to my TV job. So it was breakfast speech, lunch speech, go to work at Fox 4. Breakfast speech, lunch speech, go to work at Fox 4. I sold 70,000 copies of this $10 book. And this business was born because when you're signing that many books, people are complaining about their PR firm, or they're saying, well, this is a do-it-yourself book, Jeff, but I can't do this. I don't have the time.
You do it for me.
Will you do it for me? And when you keep hearing this over and over, finally you say, I'm not getting any younger. I think I have a second act in me. So I got my wife's permission to quit. A happy wife, happy life. She gave me permission to quit, and I started this in my home in 2008, beginning of the downturn. Now, 12 years later, I wake up, we have 140 clients on retainer, the largest being Walmart, the smallest being an author at home. We've got 20 full-time employees, and I absolutely pinch myself, Jeff, that it's grown so organically. And to me, if this is how good the first 12 years is, I can't wait to see what the next decade's going to look like.
That's exciting. I think when we first met, and we came in here before I started to do shows here, I talked to you about the similarities. Like I had kind of an evolution of that myself, kind of an aha thing. When I was practicing chiropractic back in Palm Springs in 1997, I created this like really horrible 30-minute infomercial. It was so bad. I mean, I looked like I was 17 years old, sitting on my table with a spine, a clinic jacket, just talking about chiropractic. But I aired that on TV and I killed it. Like we're getting like 30, 35 new patients a month, like prepay. I'm like, whoa. And so it worked so well, friends of mine wanted me to tell them how to do that. And so I created my own little course. It's like this 60-page manual. I had a VHS cassette of 5 of my shows that I sold for $500. I ran some ads in their chiropractic journals. We were selling like 10,000 or so a month of those as a side business. I'm like, wow. But just like you said, people would get that. Now they have to produce their own infomercial. Like, it's too much work. Can you do it for me? So I'm like, okay. So I went to CBS Studios in Palm Springs, and we had them come out. Now we charged them $10,000, and I hosted the shows. It was called Leading Experts, and they came on. We produced the whole show, gave them the finished copy. They went back to their city and ran it like an infomercial. So that became so big, right? I had to hire another girl to do it because I couldn't host the shows. And so it's kind of funny how full circle, we actually built our own studio, kind of doing exactly what you're doing here.
Wow.
It wasn't podcast then. But then, of course, in 2009 in California, when the whole real estate market crashed, I had to shut the business down. So it's like, then we went into a different direction. But it's kind of interesting. So here we are now, got my own show again, full circle. Like, wow, I did like over 400 of these things. It was kind of interesting, this kind of similarities.
Is it like riding a bike? I mean, does it feel
it really
like...
is, yeah. Because again, when you get on, and again, if you don't have any pretentiousness and you just forget about the camera, whatever, once you get that out of the way, you're just having like we're out to have lunch.
Yes,
so tell me about you, what's going on? And like if you goof up, whatever, you spit, it doesn't matter. You're just like, you're real.
Right.
And that's what's so nice about these kind of shows. You can just be real. And I think like even Joe Rogan, the popularity of his podcast, like you can't get someone more real than that. He's talking about smoking this and that, and he's just like, that kind of stuff. So it's nice being on a show where you can just be yourself, have some really cool people on, build relationships, and
you just had Les Brown. I want to brag about you. You had Les Brown on your show, one of my heroes, and you have a long time friendship with Les. Yeah,
I've known Les for a while. Very not friendship, I would say. I've known him, seen him speak everywhere, and then through a friend of a friend, he actually started our diabetes program that I have. That's a whole other thing that I have. And he started our program last December, and as of today, he told us that he's off of all of his insulin.
Amazing.
So he's doing phenomenal. So it's so nice to be able to bless him, because I feel like he's blessed me for 30 years, me listening to him.
Yes.
It's just awesome, just the synergy and people and you network. It's just, I love that, man.
And that's like the ultimate gift you can give somebody like Les, because, he's, how old is Les now?
I think he said he was 76.
76. So we want Les around for a long time.
Yeah, exactly, because he touches so many people.
Absolutely.
Just like you're doing here now, because you have so many clients and diverse, industries.
Yes.
And they're using your facility now to podcast, video like this, whatever, and get the word out.
Thanks.
So that's got to be cool, man. It's like, because feel like you're the platform for that, and you know that they're reaching like got to be millions of people on a regular basis because of what you're allowing them to do in your facility.
One of the coolest things that is happening now is, when I was in TV news, I was putting a spotlight on one company or one individual. And then when I got into public relations, I was often putting a spotlight on one individual or company. Yeah. But now I feel like I'm lighting candles that are lighting other candles, because you're going to have countless guests on your shows, and you're going to be blessing other people. So I love the kind of the multiplier effect of what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, how cool is it? I mean, you're providing a great job for some people. Your kids, 2 of your kids work with you?
Yep.
2 of your kids work with you, and now you're getting cool people coming. I know several people, that actually are here.
Yep. And
again, somebody that I knew for like 25 years referred me to this one person who was using your studio. He's like, oh, you got to use Jeff Crilley. I'm like, what? He's in Dallas? Because he's flying from St. Louis to come down here to use your facility.
Right.
I'm like, that's kind of weird, but I'm like, okay. So that's when we met. And so it's just the networking of this. I just love it, where this person tells another person, and the whole 6 degrees of separation thing. And
I think it's
amazing.
a God thing. I really feel God's hand over all of this. And you and I were supposed to meet. You and I were supposed to become friends. It's a blessing every day.
Yeah. And the exciting part is, where is this going to go?
Yes.
Right. And I'm like, okay, how can I help you? And so that's why I wanted you on the show. Even though you might have been like, you're a little reluctant, I don't need to be, but I'm like, no, I wanted you to be on, because I feel like what you have here, it's like what we kind of dreamed of back in late 2000. We had our studio. We never got it to this level. So, if I can now be part of this and help you expand it, because I know the power of podcasting and TV and video.
Yes.
And to just be able to have, if I can help in some way, where people see, wow, Jeff Crilley is a cool guy and he's doing this, and like, I just want to pay that forward to you as well.
Thank you. Well, we see this as the future, that 100% of the people who started a podcast across the planet, they just wanted to be the host. They never wanted to be the technician. They never wanted to edit and upload, and all that stuff drives them crazy. So our offering is basically, you be the host. It's difficult enough to keep your mind on the questions you're about to ask and the rapport that you're building with your guests, without having to worry about the audio and the lighting. And so we just tell clients, come in off the street with a great idea. We'll match you up with a producer who often produced morning radio or television, and you're off to the races.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the other cool thing people are watching need to know is that it's very, very affordable. I mean, it blew me away. Like, wow, it's such a fair deal.
Thank you.
To come in and just boom, it's all set up, and you can, like you said, sit down, ask the questions, and that's it. You get the finished product. So, yeah, it's very cool.
I would be curious what your experience was on the podcast side. So you came up with this idea for the show less than a month ago, is that right?
Yeah, less than a month. So again, just knowing I want to bring influential people on. That's why we kind of picked the title Best of the Best.
Yep.
So I want to network with either politicians, business leaders, professional athletes. We're going to have Marshall Falk, NFL running back. He's going to be on.
Sure.
So people like that. I want to get Governor Kristi Noem on as a guest.
That's awesome.
I'm talking like, I feel definitely best of the best. That's because, again, Les Brown, the show we just did, he says you need to like hang around those kind of people.
Yes.
They're almost elevating you to a higher level, because they're just resonating higher. And you don't want to what did he say? If you're the smartest person in your networking group, you need to get a new networking group.
Right.
That's really good.
Well, I applaud you, because you're a serial entrepreneur. I know you started several very successful businesses. With this particular show, you didn't overthink it. I like the old expression, jump off the cliff and build your wings as you fall. Yeah. You didn't know every show you're going to do. You didn't have everything scripted. Even this show right now was fairly impromptu. And so I applaud you for not talking yourself out of it, because I think a lot of people can overthink these things.
Yeah, and it's when you see something like this, something I know has been successful, it's very easy for me to make that jump because of my past experience with video and TV, and there wasn't podcasts back then, but now there is, and so it's a whole nother thing. There's no social media back when I was doing ours, so there's so many more advantages now to doing this. It's really exciting to be a part of it. So, yeah, so I guess the last thing I want to ask is, so if people want to get more information about you and your company, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Sure. The Real Communications Network is the name of our business, RNCN. And if they'll come to the website to check out our studios, so if they contact us by phone or email, we'll set them up, give them a tour. We're producing 92 different shows a month for a total of like 450 episodes. So it's become a fairly large network.
Yeah.
We've got studios at Grandscape, which is just north of Dallas, and we just opened our studios in downtown Fort Worth. So it's really becoming a thing, and it's exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. And for people that are watching this that don't live in Dallas, like I told you, my friend who flies in from St. Louis,
Yeah.
you can you can come in here and do like 4 shows at once.
Absolutely.
Just get them done. Boom. Then you go back home, thinking the other 4 fly down. So it's so economical, even with a plane flight and a hotel.
Yes.
To come down here and do 4 shows at a time.
Thanks.
It's going to be, I think, less expensive, plus have a better experience than doing something locally, trying to find it. And
Thank you.
to try and find this, believe me, there's not a lot of places I know in this country that have this kind of thing where you've got multiple sets,
Yes.
which is cool. Like we're picking this one, I like this set, but you have several others,
Yes.
like the Oprah Winfrey set, that kind of thing. So more, couchy. So it's kind of
Yeah.
cool when people get to pick what kind of set they want as well.
Yeah, no, I think this is awesome, and congratulations on the success of your show. And you're just getting started. I think
Yeah.
this will be the most fun you have all week.
Yeah, it's fun. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jeff.
You
Thanks
bet.
for being on.
You
Okay,
bet. All right,
take care.
that's it.
See you in the next episode.
You bet.